What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah. We had a blockbuster trade happen in the NBA today as the Dallas Mavericks have traded Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. And wow, y'all, I didn't expect AD to get traded to the Wizards. I thought he would get traded, but I definitely didn't think it would be to the Wizards. But this is the second big-time trade that the Wizards have made in the past month, because a couple of weeks ago they traded for Trae Young, and now they traded for Anthony Davis, which is an indication, y'all, that the Wizards are looking to compete for the playoffs next season. But I want to start with what this means for the Mavericks, because this is exactly what they had to do. In order for them to fully embrace the new era of Mavs basketball, which will be led by the sensational Cooper Flagg, they had to get rid of 2 people, y'all. The first person was the man that made the infamous Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis trade, and that was their former GM, Nico Harrison. They ended up firing him back in November, y'all, and that's what they had to do because it was just a dark cloud over the organization, y'all. And I think Nico Harrison is a good man. I really think, he's a great human being. But that was just a disaster of a trade, and we knew that the minute he made the trade. But Nico really thought, y'all, that he knew something that we didn't. He thought he was, I guess, smarter than the rest of the NBA, because he thought it was a great move. Remember, he spoke very highly of Anthony Davis. He said that AD, was one of the best two-way players in the NBA, and that it's hard to find players that are great offensively and defensively, which was definitely a shot at Luka, because Luka is a phenomenal offensive player. He's not the best defensive player, but he's just an elite player, y'all, period. And we all knew that, but clearly Nico Harrison did not value Luka the way he should have, and so he decided to trade him, y'all, in what I believe is the worst trade in sports history, to get rid of a 26-year-old franchise-type player for a 32-year-old player, y'all, who is great, who is an all-star caliber player, but has major injury concerns. I mean, that is just not a good trade at all, y'all. It's a horrible trade, right? But again, Nico Harrison thought that, he really outsmarted the league with that trade, y'all, and then immediately it backfired on him, because a couple of weeks later, both AD and Kyrie were hurt, y'all, and that ended any chance that the Mavericks had to compete for a championship last season. And then coming into this season, he got gifted with the number 1 overall pick, which allowed him to select Cooper Flagg, who is a generational player and who's having a phenomenal season for the Mavericks this year. But even with that, y'all, the Mavericks had to get rid of him, because again, with him being there, it was just this dark cloud over the organization. Every time he went to the games, the fans were booing him. They were yelling expletives in his direction, y'all. I mean, there's just no way you can function as an organization when your entire fan base just has this hatred, just has this disdain for the general manager. I mean, it became so crazy that really Nico could barely even go to the games, because it was just that bad when it came to the relationship that he had with the fans. And so they got rid of him back in November, y'all, but they also had to get rid of Anthony Davis, because there was always going to be, again, this dark cloud over the organization with Nico Harrison and Anthony Davis, because although Anthony Davis has been injured for the past month, y'all, when you watch a Dallas Mavericks game, what is one of the first things that the commentators will bring up? They will talk about how Anthony Davis is injured and Luka is having an incredible season for the Los Angeles Lakers, average about 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists per game. I mean, y'all, every time you watch a Dallas Mavericks game, the commentators always find a way to still mention Luka. Why? Because AD was on the roster, and so they had to get rid of him. And man, this was just, a really disappointing tenure for AD. I mean, all in all, y'all, he only played in 29 games for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, wow. So it was just really, a disaster of a trade for them, again, which we knew it was going to be. But it was even worse, y'all, than I think many of us thought it was going to be, because, again, when AD is healthy, he's a phenomenal player. He's one of the best two-way players in the league. But unfortunately for the Mavericks, y'all, he was not able to stay healthy for them to even be a competitive team. And so now they can finally embrace the new era, y'all, of Mavs basketball, which will be led by Cooper Flagg. And they also have some solid young players like P.J. Washington and Max Christie and Daniel Gafford. But this is all about Cooper Flagg, and hopefully, y'all, they can just kind of move on from this. Obviously, the fans are always going to, miss Luka. They're always going to have that pain in their heart from this trade, but just hopefully, y'all, this will give them some closure, and knowing that the two men that were involved with this trade, one man, who made the trade, and Nico Harrison, is no longer there, and now the player that they got back in return for Luka is no longer there. So hopefully they can kind of close the chapter on that era of Mavs basketball and look forward to a bright future with Cooper Flagg. So for that reason, y'all, I absolutely love this trade for the Dallas Mavericks. And they did, get a couple of first-round picks in return. Not great first-round picks. I mean, one of the first-round picks they got, y'all, was actually the Thunder's pick this year, right? So that's definitely not going to be valuable. Then the other first-round pick they got is the Golden State Warriors pick in 2030. Now, we don't know what the Warriors are going to look like in 2030, but that pick might not be valuable either, y'all. But, I mean, there's still, two first-round picks, and if you're, a Mavs fan, you got to hope that you can get, two really good players with those picks, y'all. But, man, all in all, the Mavs end up trading Luka, y'all, for Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 3 first-round picks. Again, one which is a Thunder first-round pick, and 3 second-round picks. I mean, oh my goodness, y'all. Again, this is going to go down as the worst trade in sports history. I mean, to get that lackluster of a return on arguably, y'all, the best player in the NBA, and Luka, just, an abomination. But hey, y'all, the era of Mavs basketball is over. So Mavs fans, look forward to this new era with Cooper Flagg. But for the Wizards, y'all, now listen, if AD can stay healthy, the Wizards look pretty good on paper. I mean, now you have a devastating defensive front court with AD and Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is taking a tremendous jump, y'all, in year 2. He's averaging about 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. So you pair he and AD together, I mean, man, you talking about 2 guys, y'all, that are versatile defenders, elite shot blockers, can guard multiple positions, and both of them can, space the floor and shoot offensively. And then in the backcourt, you have 2, dynamic, electrifying scorers in Trae Young and Trae Johnson. And then they also, y'all were able to keep, young and center players like Bilal Coulibaly and Keyshawn George and Will Riley and Justin Champagnie. So on paper, this Wizards team looks pretty solid. But again, y'all, it's going to come down to AD's health. He's going to be 33 next month. He's currently injured right now. We know he's dealt with so many injuries throughout his entire career. And one thing we know about injuries, y'all, okay, they don't get better as you get older. If you were injury prone, in your younger years, as you start to age and get older, you're going to become even more injury prone. So if you're the Wizards, you got to hope that this pays off, y'all, and that AD can stay healthy. The good thing is they didn't give up, any valuable players or picks in this trade. But still, I mean, you still gave up a couple of first-round picks and, some solid players like Chris Middleton and Malachi Branham and A.J. Johnson. But they didn't give up, again, any great players or, valuable draft picks in this deal. So, y'all, if it doesn't work out, they can easily cut ties, cut bait with AD. But if you're a Wizards fan and if you're part of the Wizards organization, obviously you really want this to pan out well for you. And if it does, y'all, the Wizards should absolutely be competing for the playoffs next season, because on paper they're going to have, one of the best rosters in the Eastern Conference. But it's just going to come down to can AD stay healthy? If he does, y'all, the Wizards should be a playoff team. If he doesn't, They probably won't be a playoff team, but I understand why they did it. I mean, the Wizards have been, a really horrible franchise for several years, y'all. They have not been good since the days of John Wall and Bradley Beal. That's been several years ago. So they've just made 2 trades, y'all, that, should make the fan base incredibly excited for what's to come, because they just got 2 all-star caliber players, one being Trae Young and the other being Anthony Davis. But there are some risks involved, y'all. But if it pays off, man, then the Wizards can be looking pretty good. And if not, y'all, they're going to just move on and cut their losses. But, in conclusion, I really love this trade for the Mavs, because this is what they had to do. They need to cut bait with AD so they can fully embrace this new era with Cooper Flagg. And for the Wizards, y'all, I'm intrigued, because on paper, this team looks pretty solid. But it's going to come down to health, y'all. And if they cannot stay healthy, then, man, this could look like a really bad trade for them. But there I have it, man. This is me reacting to the Dallas Mavericks trading Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.